Roads Untraveled family. We are in a 2JZ swapped Mk3 Supra. Let's go for a drive. Now the Mk3, just like any other Supra, it's not a light car. It's about 3,600 pounds, so it's about 1,000 pounds heavier than my MR2 actually, which seems like a lot, but when you've got over 700 horsepower at the wheels, when you've got 876 horsepower going to two wheels back there, you really don't notice the weight, and in fact, at that point, it kind of helps with grip, which is a very good thing. Transmission feels very solid, really not cheap. Oh, geez. We got a little bit of wheel spin at the top of second there, as you would expect. It's running 275s out back, which, to be honest, in a car that makes 876 at the wheels, that is a skinny tire. Let's be honest here. Anything over 700 wheel, you really need like a 305, 315 to really be able to be confident that even in like a second or third gear pull that you're going to be able to put that power down to the road. Hooked up in second there. Wow. That's really, really incredibly smooth. So it's really weird actually just looking at the Mk3 gauges and seeing the red line of the original 7M twin turbo just past 6,000 RPM. And then I go to ask Jeff, hey man, like I need to know what the red line is here. He's like, oh, 7,800 RPM. So for me, rolling up the rev range and going deep into the red line, psychologically, it's just a really weird feeling to get used to.
Hi, my name's Jeff. This is my 1990 Toyota Supra. Originally bought it bone stock in 2011. Lasted about probably 6 months with the stock motor before I did the swap. So when I bought it stock, the 2J, it came with the twins on it and everything else that came with the motor. It was quite ugly, to be honest. It had wiring and different sensors and stuff all over it. Basically stripped it down. Bought a manifold for a single turbo, put a BorgWarner S363 on it, took it over to independent speed shop for some ECU and wiring and some tuning. Made about 563, I think it was, first round, so we had it at that power level for a little while. So we had it probably 563 for maybe 4 or 5 months before I wanted more. After a few months of driving it, it actually doesn't feel fast anymore. You get used to the power level and you just crave more. So new injectors, a few other little mods to bump up the power a bit, bigger turbo S366. We got up to about 650. Had it there for probably about a year or so. Wanted more again.
I do have to put this out there. We're running at just over 700 at the wheels right now, so I'm not feeling the full force of 876. And frankly, on the street, I don't think I'm ready to feel the force of the full 876. So this is probably one of the loudest cars in terms of hearing the turbo itself actually spool up. Definitely by far one of my favorite things about any big turbo car is the rush of air that you're getting. And once you kind of have it just in your mind, you can kind of visualize the pistons doing their thing, and when you're spooling it up, the amount of pressure that's building and the amount of stress that is actually on all of those components under the engine bay. When you really think about that, I mean, turbos are just like a gift from the gods. I mean, if you don't know how a turbo works, honestly, to have fun with one, you don't need to. It spools up, it sounds fucking awesome, and it's really scary. Now I've got those awesome Willwood brakes. Obviously with any big power build, you want to be doing brakes. For sure, that's something a lot of people forget, but it's something that is very crucial if you actually do want to have a safe and fun drive on the street. Oh, sideways there. That's crazy fast. It's really insanely fast. So here we'll do a little third gear roll on here. We'll start at 3,000 RPM. We'll pin it and then we'll see how quickly that S366 actually spools up. Waiting. 4,000. Pulling. 20 kilometers an hour. Holy shit. So boost hits, and it hits very hard right at 4,000 RPM. The noise creeps up. It's crazy. That's an adrenaline rush.
So currently the car just made 876 at the rear wheels, 29 pounds of boost. I think I was around 700 wheel torque as well. Has a Link G4 Fury standalone ECU, custom wiring harness for the engine. Independent speed shop did all the work for that. To be honest, the car still scares me once in a while. It's an adrenaline rush for sure. Not many people, I don't think, understand the feeling because they haven't maybe felt it before, and they don't really understand why we chase more horsepower. Basically, the adrenaline it just gets you shaken when you do a couple highway pulls. It's intensely fast.
And my eyes go wide, my arms tense up, and my heart begins to race. You know what? It is very fast. It's scary fast, but you know what? It doesn't feel as if, unless you're in second gear, it doesn't feel as if the car is trying to kill you. Third gear is where the power really comes on. The torque that this thing is putting down, I mean, sure, you can quote the power all you want, but the real number on the street that really counts when you're in the middle of the power band, let's say between like 4 and 6,500 RPM, it's the 700 foot-pounds of torque that are going back to the rear wheels. I mean, in a street car.
So the engine, the 2JZ engine, I would highly recommend it. It's basically a bulletproof motor if you tune it right. This thing made 876. It's got a stock head gasket, ARP custom age 625 head studs, new pistons, CP 10-to-1 pistons, Manley rods, new bearings and all that. Ported head, 272, 278 cams. I guess you can consider it a fully built motor. So it's got CCW 3-piece wheels on it, 18-inch, 4-piston Willwood front brakes. I'm on my second transmission. It's a R154 5-speed. First one I had built up, still managed to destroy it. Had a new one built up again, so far so good. And the subframe and differential have also been rebuilt and reinforced to handle all the power.
Running on E85 at the moment. Jeff's got a module in here basically that'll assess the situation, see what's going on in terms of E85 content or ethanol content, and adjust accordingly. So he could put half a tank of E85, maybe balance it out a little bit, and the ECU will adjust for, let's say, E60 octane fuel. Boost! It's addicting. That's all it is. It's the best way that you can describe a 2JZ. It's really addicting. I can totally understand how a guy like Jeff can go from having 550 at the wheels to being like, shit, I need more. You know what? I want a bigger adrenaline rush. You don't necessarily have to use it all the time. That's the thing. You turn it up a little bit and the car just becomes a different animal.
People don't realize just by looking at it how fast it really is or how much power is under the hood. They don't know it's got a 2JZ swap unless they look at the license plate and they know what a 2JZ is. So it's got a 3.5-inch stainless steel downpipe, 3.5-inch exhaust all the way back to basically a straight through muffler. But recently we just put a electric exhaust cutout in the middle of the exhaust there because I live in a townhouse complex and the car is quite loud even if you're idling, so people were getting upset. So what I can do is flick a switch, it closes the exhaust cutout about 3/4 of the way and quiets the car down quite a bit. I've said it probably 4 or 5 times where I tell myself I'm going to stop upgrading and I'm done with the car, leave it the way it is. Doesn't work. I say that now as well. I'm at 876 now. The only thing else I could do is maybe some new seats inside, or a couple minor cleanup things in the engine bay, paint the engine bay, but aside from that, there's really nothing left to do as far as performance mods go on this thing. So I think maybe this time I can safely say I am finished with the performance upgrades.
Crazy. Good thing we have this radar detector. It saved our ass a few times, actually. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We got new videos coming out every single Tuesday and Thursday, as always. Head on over to roadsandtravel.net to find all our content in one place, including our podcast that goes up every single Wednesday on iTunes. And remember these t-shirts. So let us know if you guys want these t-shirts, we'll make them. So drop a comment down below, leave a like on this video, and we'll see you next time.